Wow. The atmosphere was incredible. In 2016, no, I would not have liked that.
Yeah.
No, but wow. 2023, wow, I adored that. Wow, that was just incredible. The atmosphere, wow.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Hi, I'm Archie.
I'm Molly.
And today, Molly will be reacting to Blonde by Frank Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously this is pre-recorded, but we're going to be releasing this on Molly's birthday. So if you're watching this on release day, it's Molly's birthday.
It's my birthday.
Yeah.
And if you don't leave a comment wishing me a happy birthday, then I will assume you hate my guts and I will never react to Kanye West again.
You're familiar with Frank Ocean, obviously?
Yes, I am. Channel Orange is actually one of my favorite albums of all time. And it has been for almost 10 years. But when Blonde came out, I think I expected or wanted more Channel Orange, and I listened to it once and it wasn't Channel Orange, and I didn't listen to it again. I never gave it another chance.
Damn.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Until now.
Until now. My music taste has evolved since 2016, definitely. Yeah. I wasn't into experimental music at that time.
Right.
I really just expected more Channel Orange and I didn't get it. So I said, fuck this, and I stopped listening to it. I haven't listened to it again. I know, obviously, I know like Pink and White, for example.
Yeah.
And I think a couple other songs.
Nights.
Yeah.
Solo.
Yeah.
So those are like maybe the 3 or 4 songs that I've played around you. Yeah.
Yeah, but the rest of the album, no.
Sure.
That was 7 years ago now.
Right,
so
2016.
This may as well be your first reaction.
Yeah. So I didn't like Blonde at first either. Yeah, I didn't. It took a lot of time for me to truly understand it and to appreciate it. And that's not even Frank Ocean's fault. I just remember the hype behind this album was just insane. Like, I just remember when it dropped, the day after, people on the internet were just going crazy. Like, oh, this is the best album of all time. But looking back, I mean, I love the album. Spoiler alert. Just personally, this came out like 2016, and it's going to sound super corny, but it was kind of like around the time where like kind of this version of me started, you know? So like I was into like photography, and I started getting into photography at the time. I was in my photography bag. Yeah, so I remember this one night going to this photo shoot. It was I did a photo shoot at this like 100-year-old mansion, and they were playing this. So this was all over the house, and so like I had memories of that. I had memories that winter of like going to a cabin outside of Toronto, and I was listening to Blonde there, seeing him live in New York, and I bought this house around the same time as well. So just a lot of like beginnings where this was kind of like the soundtrack, where I didn't even mean for it to be, but that's what it kind of reminds me of. So
touching.
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm looking forward to it because,
yeah,
like I said, my music taste is
for sure
different now, and I feel like I'll have a greater appreciation.
Yeah.
Especially going into it not expecting it to be Channel Orange 2.0.
So track number 1 is Nikes.
These bitches want Nike. They looking for a check. Tell them it ain't likely. Girl, keep the scales. A little mermaid. We out by the pool. Some little mermaids. Let's go.
We'll let you guys prophesy. We're not in love, but I make love to you. It's only awkward if you're fucking.
Do you know that song?
I know the start of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's obviously the first song from the album I ever heard.
Right.
And I heard the voice and I was like, what the hell is this?
Okay. Like the first time you heard it. Yeah. It's an interesting way to start off the album. For sure.
Yeah. And I did not like that at the time.
Yeah.
But obviously now to be able to take it for what it is.
Right.
Yeah, that's a really nice song. Just a really lovely song.
Yeah.
And then when his voice is normal, it's just beautiful. It's
Yeah.
yeah. He just has one of the most beautiful voices.
He does.
Yeah.
He totally does.
Yeah. It was really dreamy
It was.
and quite
That
simple.
was the mood.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one of the few songs that actually has drums on the
Oh.
album. So yeah, as I said, it was 4 years since Channel Orange, and he had one album left to deliver to his label Def Jam. So what he did was he gave them Endless, which is this experimental album which was released on like Apple Music, like which came with an accompanying video. And then on the same day or the day after, he put out Blonde on his own label.
Oh.
Yeah, so he kind of just bamboozled them a bit. So that was kind of the history behind that, and then that kind of blew people's minds because like the fans just wanted one album, they got two.
Or a rascal.
Yeah. So another aspect in his songwriting throughout the album is this kind of collage style, because he mentions how our memories are not linear. Like we experience them and we think back to them, but we always think about them in pieces. So we just piece them in together. So that's why there's a lot of different ideas that just come to mind, and he'll just put them in the song, and sometimes it won't make sense or just kind of random.
That's a really beautiful concept.
Yeah. Okay. So the next song is called Ivy.
I thought that I was dreaming when you said you loved me. The start of nothing new, I could hate you now. It's quite alright to hate me now. If I could see through walls, I could see you faking. If you could see my thoughts, you would see your faces. Safe in my rental, like an army truck back then. We didn't give a fuck back then. I thought that I was dreaming when you said you loved me.
His voice.
Yeah.
The start of nothing. Ooh, I could hate you now. It's alright to hate me now.
His voice.
That's a beautiful song.
Yeah. Do you remember that song at all? Or?
Only vaguely. Like
Yeah.
I remembered at the start, I was like, wait, have I heard this? But I haven't heard all of it.
Right.
It was just beautiful.
Yeah.
He just has the voice of an angel. He really does. And it felt like, for example, when I first got into Radiohead, I could not listen to Kid A. This isn't dissimilar
Right.
from
I think I know what you're saying.
it's not dissimilar from Channel Orange to the same extent. Like it's just
Yeah, it's different.
But I hated Kid A, or I refused to listen to it to begin with. And then once my music taste had kind of changed.
You're more open to it.
I'm about to mention Aphex Twin again. After I liked Aphex Twin, then I started to appreciate Kid A.
Right.
And I feel like it was more beautiful. Like it was nicer to have it that way because I already loved Radiohead so much, and then it was like I had even more of it that I didn't have.
Yeah, later
before.
on kind of thing. Yeah.
Instead of like binging Radiohead,
Yeah.
I loved them so much, and then I got to go and revisit an album from them that I didn't like,
Yeah.
and then I had
Just
more
like a new,
Radiohead.
yeah,
This feels kind of the same way.
like new material basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not new material, like
For you, for your
kind of like for me, but it just feels nice to like come back to it and be like, wow, I've been missing out on this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. One of the musicians on here or producers is I can't pronounce his name, Rossum Batmanglij. So you have no idea who he is.
I don't.
But he's an ex-member of Vampire Weekend.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So he
Not a fan of Vampire.
he's just so funny.
Well, they were on the radio all the time in the UK.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I like Vampire Weekend. He went to the studio, or in the version he heard, like he turned off all the instruments and just heard the voice. So he took his guitar and just started strumming.
the guitar is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's almost shoegazy.
Yeah, because of the effect they put on there.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is, so he, for inspiration for the strumming, he was actually thinking about Under Control by The Strokes.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. Let
Yeah.
me think about this.
I don't think the actual chords,
Yeah.
but I think the
way-
strum and the way he was,
Wow.
the chord progressions, I guess. But
Love his jokes
yeah, so
so much.
so I thought that I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, that's an excellent piece of information.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next song, one that you're familiar with, Pink and White.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay.
That's the way every day goes. Every time we've no control. If the sky is pink and white, if the ground is black and yellow, it's the same way you showed me. You showed me love. Glory from above. In the wake of a hurricane, dark skin of a summer shade, nose dive in the floodlines, tall tower, milk crate. You kneel down to the dry land, kiss the earth that birthed you. Gave you tools just to stay alive and make it up when the sun is ruined. It's all downhill.
That's Beyonce in the background.
Real life, archie, Michael Jackson, all this shit.
Yeah, I already know that song, and it's beautiful. That's when I heard this song, I was like, maybe I should give this album another chance.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I heard the start of Nikes and was like, nope. And I've only heard this like outside of the context of the album. It's such a beautiful song.
Yeah.
And I never realized there were like birds in the background.
Yeah.
Like with the headphones on, like the atmosphere is different. Like, well, it's not different, but it's like
Well, yeah,
enhanced.
it's right.
Yeah.
And you hear all the details.
Yeah.
Like it sounded like there were effects on those birds too at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard that.
And then when Beyonce came in,
Yeah.
wow, I closed my eyes because like, wow,
Yeah.
this is heavenly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her voice is very ethereal in this one. Yeah.
This whole album is like ethereal. It's like dreamy and
It's very layered.
yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say like, well, I was thinking earlier that you might like it more because like we listen to a lot of ambient music, right? So maybe you'd have more of an appreciation now because of all the, because you can hear the details now through the headphones.
Yeah.
That was produced by Pharrell.
Oh.
Didn't have that 4 count in the beginning.
Yeah. I feel like I almost get distracted from the lyrics.
Yeah.
Just like, because his voice is just so beautiful.
Right.
And then with this like, the like atmosphere is so like dreamy and like, you can like see clouds. Not that the
I know
lyrics
what you
aren't
mean.
important
It
here,
takes
but
away
they're
from
very
your-
important. It's
Yeah.
it's less like what we've been listening to, where I feel like I have to be switched on
Right.
because like they're so like packed into like rap. There's
Yeah.
like an insane amount
Yeah.
of stuff. With this, I feel like I'm going to be able to just
Yeah. Just feel
enjoy it more.
Feel the sounds.
Yeah.
You can close your eyes. They'll forgive you. All right. So the next track is Be Yourself. So Be Yourself is an interlude. We'll let you listen to it. And then we'll just let it go into solo and then we can talk about both
Okay.
afterwards. Okay?
Perfect.
Don't use that cocaine or marijuana because that stuff is highly addictive. When people become weed heads, they become sluggish, lazy, stupid, and unconcerned.
It's true.
Hand me a towel, I'm dirty dancing by myself, gone off tabs of that acid. Form me a circle, watch my Jagger. Might lose my jacket and hit a solo. Forgot to tell you how much I vibe with you. And we don't gotta be solo. I got that act right in the windy city that night. No trees to blow through, but blow me, and I owe you 2 grams from the sunrise. Smoking good,
What
rolling
is that?
solo.
It's a whistle.
Solo. It's hell on earth and the city's on fire. In hell, there's heaven. There's a bull and a matador dueling in the sky. In hell, there's heaven.
Wow.
I wanted that act right in Colorado that night. I brought trees to blow through, but it's just me and no you. Stayed up till my phone died. Smoking big, rolling.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember, there's this one song called Running Around by Buddy Ross. And it's in my, like, I put it in one of those playlists that we listen to. I'll play a little bit of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. When we were listening to that, I was like, wait a second, I know this song, but I
Yeah.
don't know this song. What's the
Right.
sample from? And I meant to ask you, what is the
Yeah.
sample from?
So it's Running Around by
So
Buddy
that's
Ross.
how I know it. Yeah.
So we've been listening to that. He actually works on a few of these songs with him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and the interludes throughout the project, it's all over this song. So
Cool.
yeah, little fun fact there.
Yeah, I was wondering where I knew that from. So thank you, because I would have
Yeah.
forgotten to ask. Yeah, solo, I already know it.
Yeah,
I know I keep saying it. His voice is just absolutely beautiful. It's just one of the best top 5 voices for me in all of music.
wow,
Just such a beautiful
Yeah.
voice.
can't argue with that.
And I don't know, there's just this really like kind of like heavenly, holy, dreamy feel
Yeah.
to all of these songs. Like I don't understand how I didn't. I get it, because obviously I went into it hoping for more
You're
Channel
expecting
Orange.
something else.
And this is
Yeah.
kind of unconventional, even
Yeah.
though it's beautiful, but it's like, for example, this, it doesn't have a traditional song structure.
Yeah.
Like the verse goes on and on and on and on. And at that time, that wouldn't have been something that I was
Right.
into. So I understand why I wouldn't have liked it, but I'm so happy I can appreciate it now.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
And as I said before, like I appreciate the songwriting more here than on Channel Orange.
Yeah, that's actually funny, because I was thinking about it, and like Channel Orange definitely is, like there are definitely some personal songs, but there are other songs that are very much impersonal, even if they're
Yeah.
drawing on experience.
Yeah, or even if they're metaphorical. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I
No,
want
not
to
at
make that
all.
clear.
And I love Channel Orange, but
Yeah.
I feel like who I am now, this matches more
Yeah.
my vibe. Even though I maintain Channel Orange is
Right.
one of my favorite albums of all time, I feel like the structure of this and like the lyrics and
It's more
things
complex.
is more complex, and
Yeah.
I am more complex.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah, I love this.
It's also interesting that the placement of this right after Be Yourself, where she's talking about don't do drugs and stuff. And then on this one, he's kind of like relying on it. He sings about smoking a lot in the song. So it's kind of that, again, playing on that duality, which you're going to hear throughout the album. There's a lot of conflicting ideas. The album's called Blonde and spelled without an E at the end. But on the album listing, I don't know if it's on Spotify, but it's with an E.
Oh,
So it's masculine and feminine.
oh,
Yeah. So there's another play on the duality. People also theorize about blonde, how blonde hair tends to darken as you age.
oh wow,
And so blonde kind of represents this youth, kind
This
of
is layered.
coming of age. It's super layered.
Yeah.
And again, like a lot of this too are just, I keep saying just, but they're theories, they're interpretations.
Well, they're great interpretations,
Yeah,
which I would be inclined to
and
believe.
Yeah, exactly. And his songwriting, like I said, he's taking it to another level here. Along with the instrumentation, I believe, like musically. Yeah, it's another...
Yeah, it's much less conventional.
Right. Okay. So the next song is called Skyline 2.
Keep alive,
It's empty.
stay alive. That's a pretty fucking fast year flew by. That's a pretty long third gear in this car, gliding on the fire. Blood. Summer's not as long as it used to be. Every day counts like crazy. Wanna get soaked? Wanna film a tape on a speedboat? We smell a Californication. Everything grows in the Congo.
It's guitar.
In comes the morning.
Wow. I'm not even a little bit familiar with that. But wow.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was incredible. It started off really, really sunny. Like I could
Yeah.
imagine really bright, like maybe like middle of the day or like afternoon. And it was like, wow, I'm sorry, I'm so impressed by this. I'm trying to like explain how it was so bright and sunny, like in a park or in a field or in like Switzerland in the hills
Oh,
or
wow.
something, just like that
Yeah.
bright with green grass.
Great.
And then as it got towards the end, it was like you could feel it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if it was intentional, but it felt like it was like getting darker, but not like darker, like
Yeah.
the actual sky.
Yeah.
Like going into sunset and into the evening. And then there was part of the instrumental that made me think of like fireflies like dancing around. It was incredible. I
Nice.
loved that.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thought you meant Fireflies like that song.
Oh God, no. Wow. And no, I would, in 2016, no, I would not have liked that.
Yeah.
No. But wow. 2023,
It hits different.
wow, I adored that. It hits different. That was just incredible. The atmosphere. And I would not, now that I'm into like ambient music and stuff, I really appreciate like someone creating an atmosphere.
Right. And not just
And
instruments.
not just
And,
instrument, here's your verse, here's your bridge, here's your chorus, and
like
repeat.
your typical signature kind of.
Exactly. So the fact that he's just made this image in my head, and then his voice, and then it's basically poetry, and wow,
Yeah.
that was incredible.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you like that.
Yeah.
I don't have too much to add to that, except for the longest time, I think not just me but other people as well. When he was like smoke, blur,
Yeah.
haze, people thought that was Kendrick.
Oh.
Yeah, but it actually wasn't.
Oh.
For the longest time, I thought that was it. I find like with these songs, sometimes when I think of a song, I'm like, well, where would it go in a playlist? Like, what kind of other songs would it go with? And
You're
for
really
the most
good
part,
at making playlists. You make
they're
some
okay.
great- Yeah.
But I wouldn't like. Typically, I would put a Frank Ocean song next to some more R&B. But with this album, you can put it next to like a Boards of Canada or some other ambient stuff that we listen to. Something that's more kind of subdued and more about the mood, less about the structure or the.
Yeah, the structure is definitely very, very
Yeah.
different to what you would expect from a conventional song.
Right.
It's definitely very different to Channel Orange.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad to re-listen to it now when I can actually appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I had tried again and again before, I would have been like, no, this is definitely not for me. And I
then-
never would have been able to come back and appreciate
for
it
is, yeah.
like a true first listen. Like,
Great.
wow, this was a great decision that we've made.
Great. So we'll move right along to the next song called Self Control.
I'll be the boyfriend in your wet dreams tonight. Noses on a rail, little virgin, where's the white? Wish I was there, wish we'd grown up on the same advice, and our time was right.
Keep a place for me. I'll sleep between y'all, it's nothing.
Now and then you miss it, sounds make you cry. Some nights you dance with tears in your eyes. That's like never, 'cause I made you use your self-control and keep a place
Oh.
for me. I'll sleep between y'all, it's nothing. Oh, you gotta leave,
Wow.
leave. Take down some summertime. Give up just a night. Oh, you gotta leave. Take down some summertime. Give up just a night.
Self Control.
Yeah, also beautiful. But that one definitely, like, when I heard the line, is I'll sleep between y'all, it's nothing, I had this flashback of, like, listening to this song and being like, I want to like this song because I love the lyrics, but I hate how it sounds. Not that I hated it, but I was like, I don't get it. Like,
I
don't, like, it wasn't a vibe for me at the time.
So you liked it though?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Oh, now
this
you
time.
do.
Yeah, It's definitely, again, very unconventional.
Yes.
And again, I understand why I didn't
Yeah.
like it at the time. And again, I'm so happy I can appreciate it now. I keep getting goosebumps just listening to him. It's just, it's so beautiful. And the guitars on this are amazing. I actually meant to say in the last song, the guitar was almost kind of like a lo-fi kind of sound.
Oh, yeah. Again, he uses different voices in this one.
Yeah.
He sings about summer a lot on this album. Seems to be a common
It's
theme.
actually the sound is very, I thought, very summery in a like hazy, dreamy,
Right.
sunny way. That's
Yeah.
how it sounds.
But his emotions kind of like
Contrast with
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it fits as well because
It's actually funny you say that because like he is like what he's singing, it's so sad
yeah.
and so personal. But it's the song itself just sounds so beautiful.
Just a lot of like reminiscing, and that's how you feel. Like it feels like these are just memories.
Yeah.
It's like fleeting memories. Yeah, another beautiful song. Probably one of my favorites.
That was
on
a
the album.
really, really beautiful song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep it moving.
Okay.
The next song is called Good Guy.
It's a good guy, he hooked it up. Said if I was an NY, I should look you up. It's to the gay bar you took me to. It's when I realized you talk so much more than I do. It's highlights when I was convinced. No, you don't need me right now. And to you, it's just a late night out.
So that was just like a short song, but I thought it was really
Poignant.
poignant. Exactly.
Yeah. That was super sad. It was so short,
Yeah.
but he said so much.
Yeah.
That was very sad actually.
Yeah. So he went on a date with a guy and
Yeah.
was expecting it to be something good.
Yeah, and he thought that it was something more than,
Right.
and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so sad.
It was pretty sad. And again, this shows another glimpse into the kind of duality he's kind of singing about throughout the whole album. Not questioning his masculinity, but it's another side of his sexuality, right? And regardless of which side he's on, like the emotions are still the same. Like he's heartbroken over this, or kind of disappointed in seeing this as having potential, but then realizing this guy has this guy
Doesn't
that
have
he's
the
with.
same idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just unrequited
Unrequited love.
Yeah, unrequited love.
Like in Bad Religion.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a common theme. So yeah, even though it was very short, like you said, it's very poignant.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll move on to the fan favorite, Nights.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is probably my favorite song on the album. Not to say that the rest are garbage or anything like that.
Let's
but
just listen to it anyway. It's not going to be much of a reaction because I love this
Yeah.
song, but let's go for it.
Yep. So Nights.
Round your city, round the clock. Everybody needs you. No, you can't make everybody equal. New beginnings, new beginnings. Wake up high, the sun's going down. Time to start your day, bro. Can't keep being late on. Wanna see Nirvana, but don't wanna die. Yeah. Wanna feel it, none of them. Come by, fuck with me after my shit. Dressed out, shit, that's everyday shit. Shut the fuck up, I don't want your conversation. Rolling marijuana, that's a cheap vacation. My everyday shit, every night shit. All my night, been ready for you all my night. Been waiting on you all my night. You haven't missed all my night.
So good.
Yeah.
Every night fucks every day up. Every day patches the night up. On God, you should match it, it's that KO. No white lighters till I fuck my 28th up. You know I can't hear none of that. Spend the night, shit. Oh my gosh, shit. Wanna see Nirvana, but don't wanna die, yeah. Wanna feel it on it, cool, you come by, fuck with me at the my shit. Every night, shit. My everyday shit. Every night.
Yeah, as we said, already know that song.
Yeah.
Incredible song. But I have never looked at the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know when he's saying like all my nights. I thought he was saying all my life. No, but
No, totally. I thought that was that too.
But when I saw that, I was like, wow, that really changes. Like that really changes it.
Right.
That sounds stupid because it's just one word, but that really changes the meaning. Like obviously, it's like supposed to be like all my life because normally people would say all my life, but he's saying all my night. I was like, wow. Oh yeah. Sorry, I just laughed when he said new beginnings because it reminded me of the other day when I was like, what was that Frank Ocean song where it sounds like he's saying Baba Ganoush?
Yeah, I bought some Baba Ganoush from I bought some Baba Ganoush dip at the store the other day, and she was like, what's that Frank Ocean song?
What's that Frank Ocean song that sounds like he's saying Baba Ganoush?
Yeah. And you scoured the internet.
I scoured the internet, and there was one person on Reddit who also thinks it sounds like he's saying Baba Ganoush. It doesn't quite sound like it, but when I hear the words Baba Ganoush, I think of him saying new beginnings by Baba Ganoush.
So anyway, back to
Frank Ocean.
So the middle of that song, where it changes, the beat change, that signifies the exact middle of the album.
Oh.
Yeah. So that we're now into the second half of the album.
Wow.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yes.
That's a great song. However, my controversial opinion will be that Pyramids is a better two-part song. That's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Oh.
Even though this is an incredible song. Yeah. Pyramids just blows me away every time.
Okay. So the next song is a solo reprise featuring Andre 3000.
Oh, Andre 3000.
Yeah, from Outkast.
Solo that I can see under the skirt of an ant. Solo that I don't get high no more when I around no more. I just go hand. Solo that no more high horses so hard to wear polo. When I do, I cut the pony off. Now there's a hole that once was a logo. Trying to cut down on my spending, regardless of winning, instead of pretending and bending over backwards. Over half of the whole had work done. After 20 years in, I'm so naive, I was under the impression that everyone wrote their own verses. It's coming back different, and yeah, that shit hurts me. I'm humming and whistling to those not deserving. I stumbled and lived every word. Was I working just way too hard?
That was short, but wow, impactful.
Yeah, he's one of the GOATs for sure. Mm-hmm. Anytime an Andre 3000 verse pops up, it's kind of like, I don't know.
Game over.
Yeah, it's game over.
It was really experimental.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The instrumental was kind of all over the place. Not in a bad way, just...
Right. So it is like, when I first listened to this, I was like, oh wow, this is kind of like out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. But he had to work with him in the past. Like he was on Channel Orange.
He's on Channel Orange, yeah.
So, like I said, anytime you get an Andre 3000 verse, it's game over. When you said solo that no more high horses. Yeah. So hard to wear polo. Mm-hmm. So I cut the pony off, and there's a hole where there once was a logo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was fucking dope.
Just kept going, yeah.
Yeah, and there was actually one line that was a bit controversial. Oh. Where he was talking about other rappers.
The one where he's under the impression that everyone wrote their own verses.
Yeah, talking about ghostwriting. And at the time, when this came out, Drake was accused of ghostwriting. Oh. Or like he had ghostwriters. Yeah. But somebody came out, I think CeeLo Green, who was homies with Andre 3000, said he wrote this verse before those allegations even came out. So I think he was just kind of writing that as a general statement. Okay. But yeah, everybody thought he was rapping about Drake there. So just move on to the next song, which is called Pretty Sweet.
To the edge I race, to the end I make it. All the risk I take it. The hype right now might be what I need. Might be what I need. The other side, I'm on this side. I'm on this side.
That was all over the place. It was 2016 me would not have liked that.
Yeah. How about 2023 you?
I'm not going to say I loved it. I think it fits in. Yeah. It's definitely all over the place. I wouldn't just vibe out to that song. Yeah. I respect it.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on, a lot of random stuff going on.
Right.
I'm sure there's a reason behind it. But wow, I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And then just kept introducing all these random things.
Yeah, a lot of different elements in there. Yeah, I'll go ahead and just say this is probably my least favorite on the album.
Yeah, I if this is the worst song on the album, then great, because like I said, I respect it. It was just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, like we were talking about, like he introduced a lot of musical elements in here. I feel like the first portion, I think, is kind of like a throwback to a particular Beatles song. I kind of forget. I apologize if I forget. But it was kind of a similar technique he used, I guess, the producers used for the sound in the first part. I thought it was interesting when there are like certain lyrics where he says, "Said you want to kill me now. Fuck the other side, I'm on this side." So I wonder if like this is again the duality of his sexuality again, where he's kind of singing from the other perspective, and then at the end it kind of sounds like the kids are taunting him, like, "We know you're sugar, we know you're sweet."
Yeah, the lyrics I feel like
So I wonder if they were kind of like teasing him because, like, "Oh, that's so sweet," like, because that's more like a feminine kind of thing. So I wonder if that had to do with it. So
wow,
I don't know if
maybe this is just, now that you've said that, it just came into my head, because it was like a lot of stuff was arguing with each other.
Yeah, like the chaotic nature of it.
So maybe that's a reflection of
kind of like this
sexuality and conflict
that goes on in his, So he's kind of, I don't know if it's he kind of sounds like he's, I don't know if it sounds like he's convincing himself that's better on this side, or, so there's a lot of chaos going on, but I feel like that's maybe what's going on in his head. So, I mean, if that's what he was going for, like, I totally respect.
If that's it, then I really respect that, because that's a really good representation of like inner conflict and
for sure,
like arguing with yourself and trying to tell yourself one thing, and and
we'll move on to the next song, which is Facebook Story. And we'll let that roll into Close to You. And then when that's done, we'll discuss both.
Okay.
And
French.
I was not even cheating her or what. And Facebook arrived. She wanted me to accept her on Facebook. And I don't want it because I was like in front of her. So I said, "I'm in front of you. I don't need to accept you on Facebook." She started to be crazy. She thought that because I didn't accept her, she thought I was cheating.
But you could've held my hand through this, baby.
That's a Carpenters.
That's funny, you got it.
Just like mine, versions of these belong to you.
Close to You, which I should have gotten from the name, is the Carpenters, which is so funny because my brother got me into Frank Ocean.
Yeah.
And we love the song Close to You.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember why. I feel like it's because it's in The Simpsons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Marge gets a doorbell and it's this Close to You, but ends up just going really, really fast. And then I feel like we just started singing it to each other.
Wow.
And then there was a time, now my brother's my best friend.
Yeah. What?
But there was a day that we just got really angry at each other when we were teenagers. And we fell out and we didn't talk to each other for 3 days,
Whoa.
which is unthinkable now.
Yeah.
And we weren't talking to each other, and I heard him in his room listening to Close to You by the Carpenters.
Wow.
And I was just like standing outside his door like, I wish I could talk to you. Yeah.
Well, that was pretty sad.
Yeah, so those that was really nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
So Facebook Story, that's a producer by the name of Sebastian, French producer, obviously. He worked on the album. He contributed a little bit. That was just like an organic conversation he was having, and then Frank kind of recorded it, and it's a true story, apparently. I mean, if I were him,
So
I
he
would...
wondered why a girl was jealous because he wouldn't add her on Facebook.
I was just gonna say,
Low key, but like
just accept the
just
request
accept it, and
and move
also
on.
if
Yeah.
like that's kind of suspicious too. Anyway.
And then, it goes to Close to You. So This wasn't actually, so he didn't actually he didn't mean to cover the Carpenters. He saw a video on YouTube or I don't know if he saw on YouTube or he saw the performance itself, like there's an old performance of Stevie Wonder on a talk show or on a show where he's talking to the interviewer and he's giving this demonstration of this device. I forget what the music device is. I'll flash it on the screen when I find out. But it's like this device where you sing and it creates this harmony, automatic harmony with it. And so this ending part.
Yeah. I saw that was Stevie Wonder. Yeah.
So he actually covered this song, and that was the inspiration from that. Frank says that was like one of his favorite covers he's ever heard. The reason why I put these two together is I don't know if it was on purpose, but from my interpretation, I thought it was interesting where you have Facebook story where, you know, he's in this relationship, but technology is kind of ruined it. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting that he sings this close to you with all these glitches and stuff. Mm-hmm. So you have this technology in there as well. So I just thought the pairing was interesting. Mm-hmm. And now we move on to White Ferrari, which is I think is a fan favorite. I feel like because he's iconic at this point. And I feel like this White Ferrari is like a symbol that people kind of mention or kind of like, as a reference to Frank. Mm-hmm. But we'll get into the song and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Okay?
Bad luck to talk on these rides. Mine on the road, your dilated eyes. We're both so familiar. White Ferrari, stick lines close by me. So I text the speeds, lesser speeds, Texas speed, yes. Basic takes its toll on me eventually, yes. I care for you still and I will forever. That was my part of the deal. In this life, in this life. I'm sure we're taller in another dimension. You say we're small and not worth the mention, but we're so okay here, we're doing fine. I'm only naked, you dream of walls that hold us in prison.
So I feel like I'll like the sound of that more with more listens. Mm. I feel like the lyrics meant more to me than the sound of it did. Because the lyrics were beautiful. Yeah. They were so sad. But the sound was kind of, I don't know. I think I'll appreciate it more sonically if I listen to it. Repeatedly. But the lyrics were beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So one interpretation was that like they're riding in a car and at the end of the car it is actually the end of the relationship. Oh. Yeah, and if you go to the, it says, mine on the road, your eyes or dilated eyes watching the clouds float. So it's presumably like they're high. And apparently, like I didn't know this, like White Ferrari apparently is a reference to ecstasy. So I don't know if it's like, you know, they're riding in this car, they're high, and then it's a metaphor for also the end of the relationship.
Yeah, cool. Like I said, really love the lyrics.
Yeah.
I think I'll appreciate the sound more. I think maybe just because it was kind of empty and stripped back, and then it had kind of glitchy sounds every so often, and I don't know.
It's all good.
But the lyrics were beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll move on. Next track is called Seigfried.
The markings on your surface, your speckled face. Maybe I should move and settle. 2 kids in a swimming pool. I'm not brave. I'd rather live outside.
of Nirvana, it was there. Rare as the feathers on my dash from a phoenix.
I do anything for you in the dark. I do anything for you in the dark.
Another one, I kind of preferred the lyrics to the sound. I did really like the sound though.
Yeah.
I did. I think I liked the lyrics considerably more than how it sounded. I'm not sure. I can't really explain why.
Well, that's okay.
I really like the chords.
Yeah.
I don't. They remind me of another song, but I don't know which song it is.
It's very ambient-like though.
Yeah.
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 You know, the imagery I get from the last two songs, it's kind of like this kind of desolate, just like an open road with, do I want to say desert? But like with mountains. It's kind of like the vibe I'm getting from these last two.
Kind of like empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just spacious, and that's kind of the
vast,
sound.
Yeah.
Exactly, vast is a good word for it. Yeah, the lyrics were quite profound. It's kind of, again, the duality of should I settle down, and like there was a really good lyric that he said here, been living in an idea from another man's mind. So basically, kind of like the social norms or what.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, should I settle down, have two kids in a swimming pool?
Yeah. I like that line. Yeah.
So he's kind of having this kind of existential crisis. So yeah, so he's choosing between that or kind of like living outside tradition where it doesn't necessarily guarantee happiness, where he can end up lonely. So again, he's just kind of like reflecting on that choice he has to make.
So far, I have preferred the first half.
Yeah.
But I do really respect the second half.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of like I feel like it definitely sounds heavier.
Yeah, and it's more experimental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with experimental, I guess it
takes time to grow on you, really. And I definitely think, like, even just listening to it one more time or two more times, I think it would really, really grow on me much more.
Right.
Just on this, I'm saying.
No, all good.
Automatically, I like the first half better.
Okay, cool. We'll move on to the next song called Godspeed.
I will always love you. Let go of a prayer for you. The table is prepared for you. Wishing you Godspeed, glory. But you'll have this place to call home. Always.
I'll always love you until the time we die.
That was really beautiful. Yeah. I got this really, like I've said a lot at the start of the album, like a kind of like heavenly, like dreamy, but more so here it was like there's a lot of like it's not religious, but it's like this kind of heavenly.
Yeah, that's what I was actually gonna get to with this song. Obviously, there were like references to the Bible here. It's called Godspeed. You have the organ, and then at the end with the female vocalist is singing, kind of like she sounds like the lead of a choir. You know.
Don't have much more to say except that was a really beautiful song.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the final song called "Future Free." It's 9 minutes long.
Holy shit!
It's like 2 parts.
Okay.
So.
I used to work on my feet for $7 an hour. Call my mama like, mama, I ain't making minimum wage, mama. I'm on, mama, I'm on. Now I'm making 400, 600, 800K, mama. To stand on my feet, mama. Play these songs, it's therapy, mama. They paying me, mama. I'm just a guy, I'm not a god. Sometimes I feel like I'm a god, but I'm not a god. If I was, I don't know which heaven would have me, mama.
This the last song, so I'm finna wipe that off. Tolerance is so low, still smoke a whole dog.
It's back.
I felt like it was distorted before.
Yeah.
Like in this song.
What's your first memory?
Yeah, it was.
The first word I learned to say.
It's about forever at the same time.
I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
So the first part I thought was interesting because some parts of it sounded more like a stream of consciousness.
Oh, I was about to say.
Oh.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, because it sounded like when you're like writing in a diary and you're just writing whatever comes into your head. That's what that felt like. And then the second part I thought was interesting because of what you said about like memories, and it felt like a memory layered with other memories, and you can't quite see, like their voices are all distorted and covered by these other things.
Yeah.
It felt like it just felt like a memory, and then like patchy, and like you can't fully like see the memory properly, and then it's like covered by other memories.
Yeah.
That's what that made me think of, and I thought that was really cool. It was very open, very honest, just very like laid bare. I think it was just when he said, "I ain't smoked all year, this is the last song," so, and then blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I felt like he was just kind of like writing whatever came into his head. Like it really just felt like when you're like journaling and just not trying to control where your sentence is going, just writing whatever comes into your head.
There was references to like Tupac there.
Yeah.
Because, you know, back in the day when he was murdered, there's a rumor that he faked his own death to escape fame. So he was kind of just saying like, oh, don't try to, you know, he's found peace by like getting out of fame. And then I look at the interview with him, with his brother Ryan and his other friends, kind of as a reflection on like fleeting youth, like you said, patchy memory, because it's all distorted.
Yeah.
And that also lends to the first part of the song, where it's kind of like this collage style that he's implemented throughout the album, kind of like these different thoughts, because like they're different memories that just kind of patch them together. So that wraps up the album.
Yeah.
What are your kind of general thoughts?
My general thoughts are, I would not have liked this album in 2016, and I totally understand why I didn't.
Yeah.
The first half of the album, I think, for sure, like it's
more immediate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're really like immediately like beautiful, soulful, like just really beautiful songs. There are some songs in the second half that are just kind of abrasive, or like you don't really understand them, or they're kind of all over the place, or just really experimental.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you haven't already been introduced to music like that, I feel like the first time you listen to it, even if on subsequent listens, you really love it, which is totally possible. I feel like if you haven't already been exposed to music like that, the first listen, you'd be like, what the fuck is it? I loved this album. I'm really glad we listened to it again. The second half, I loved more lyrically. I think the sound, you need to listen to it more than once
get used to it
to really, for it to click.
As I said before, like I'm notorious for I don't really like stuff on first listen. It's very rare. And most of my favorite albums, like they took a lot of time. Like for instance, like Mad Villainy, for instance, that took time for me, especially because if I'm used to listening to a certain genre, like with hip hop, for instance, I'm used to hearing certain kind of beats or certain kind of structure in the song, and then I hear Mad Villainy. I'm just like, this is a little different.
You said the same with Atrocity Exhibition.
Exactly, yeah. So I just wasn't prepared for that experimental type stuff. So those albums took time, and then now they're like two of my favorite albums. And then same with Blonde. Like this took a while for me, because it's different from any other. I know it's not necessarily an R&B album, but we're used to R&B from Frank, right? And so when I first heard it, I was like, well, this is interesting. And I like the sounds because I was listening to Boards of Canada and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I agree. The second half definitely requires more listens. For me, it definitely clicked because of the lyrics as well.
Yeah.
And when you think about the themes of like lost youth, duality, his sexuality, and just like within all those things, you still have these common emotions. And not saying that should be any different for no matter the person, but you still get those feelings of like, and stuff that I can relate to. I'm like, well, do I have to live a certain kind of life because this is what society thinks, or should I just live the life that I want? But still it doesn't guarantee happiness or success or whatever it is that you search for in life.
I thought it was a really profound album.
Definitely.
And I think lyrically it's absolutely beautiful. It's exceptional.
And personally, that's what I was searching for with Frank Ocean, as I said multiple times already about Channel Orange, where I felt it was lacking a little bit of that personal touch, whereas this is like
It's
super personal.
Super personal.
And it takes time to kind of internalize and interpret.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, what are some standout tracks for you?
Let's see. Skyline 2. I really loved that.
Yeah.
That vibe.
Yeah, you did react to...
I already know like Pink and White and
Yeah.
Solo. I already love those. And Nights. I thought that was really good with Nights. Like how you told me he split the album exactly in two.
Right.
I thought that was really cool.
No, overall, I respect his artistic choices on this because there's no one else that's doing this.
No.
Or there's no one else that can do
He's
this.
a genius.
Yeah.
And he just has the most beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as always, thanks for watching.
Thank you so
Please
much.
like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw. And
Wish me a happy birthday.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.